Servus YouTube. Today I'm going to talk to you about Fröccs. What it is, why we drink it, and why it's important to me. Let's see. Fröccs, with the words of Homer Simpson, the cause of and the solution to life's all problems. At least that's what I think it is. Some say, well, I do, that this is the single greatest invention of human beings ever. It's an alcoholic soft drink that can stretch the whole drinking period, the whole night, if you're tactical enough. The basics are very simple. This is wine with sparkling water. But what proportions, what wine, what water, what temperature, and so on, this is where science and the debates start. First of all, let me tell you where we are. We are at the Friends balcony, next to the famous Danube River with the Elizabeth Bridge in Budapest. On the other side you see the Gellért Hill, that's Buda, and we are here in Pest. I would also like to tell you a few things about the person that we can actually thank the proportions, and we call him the ambassador of Fröccs. His name is Krúdy. He was born in 1878 to a father who was a nobleman and to a mother who was a very poor maid, so he saw both sides of this country. What I like the most in his literature is when he's writing down these amazing feasts with great details. He also has recipe books, and he collected in general a lot of the habits and a lot of those old manners of Hungarian hospitality, of the cuisine, and how people like to go to the taverns and so on. So this is when he wrote down the proportions of Fröccs. Important information that we here in Europe, we use metric system. We have Celsius degrees and all these things that can confuse some of you. So our basic measure is going to be a deciliter. That's the tenth of a liter, around like this. This is the basic measure. Now there are going to be two numbers in the proportions. The first one is going to be the wine, and the second is going to be the water. So 1 will mean that's 1 deciliter of wine and 1 deciliter of water. You can actually use, just say, 1 unit of the drink, but deciliter is the thing that we use here. I take it very serious to let you know what is Fröccs, so I brought some wine and sparkling water with myself. So this here is a nice Olasz Riesling, which is an old Hungarian grape type. Not very aromatic, and it's not a really striking flavor, so it's perfect to emphasize the taste of the minerals of the soil, of that current terroir where it's from. I think it's a perfect Fröccs wine, and this is why most of the times I drink Fröccs with Olasz Riesling. But since rosés are a big deal as well, sometimes I really feel like a fresh fruity rosé, I brought here some Duzsi. Tamás Duzsi is a young winemaker, and his rosé in this country is for a couple of years now is probably one of the best rosés. It's pretty cheap, it's very consistent quality and I just like it in general. It's a very decent wine. So we start with the smallest one, 1. That's Kisfröccs or small Fröccs. This is cheap and dangerous. It's gone in a second, but then in an hour you end up with like drinking a whole bottle of wine. For my taste, this is a bit too heavy. I like wine, just plain wine without water as well. But you know, when you drink Fröccs, you don't necessarily use the worst wines, but also not the best wines. It's, you know, it's a good middle quality. Although Duzsi I would actually drink by itself as well. But for me, this 1 is sometimes just too heavy. So this is when I need the other one. 1, 2. So it's 1 wine, 2 water, and this is called a Hosszúlépés. Now this is what the people who know their stuff, this is what they drink. When you go into an old, like a dive bar, the old folks would be leaning at the bar and holding this because they know their stuff. When after walking long in a hot summer and arriving to a bar, I immediately ordered 2 of them. So Hosszúlépés or long step, this is one of my personal suggestions. And with this background, I really cannot complain about anything. So this is Nagyfröccs, or the large Fröccs. Now I will make it from rosé. It's 2, 1. And you see, this is the rosé. That's already kind of sparkling. Oops! Oops, oops, oops! Mistake! So, after pouring in the right liquid, this is 2-1. Nagyfröccs or large Fröccs. Well, this is the start of the drinking. You're still eager for drinking, you're still brave. After 2 of these, I think you will switch back to either Hosszúlépés or the last one that I will show you later on. This is good though. Too much, too whiny for me, but I really understand why people dig it. So this is when we switch to real drinking, half a liters. We have 2 of these. Well, actually we have all the different measures here, what I'm not going to talk in details about is 2-2. As I figured it out, most of the places this is the current bars, dives, restaurants own drink. So it's named after the actual establishment. So for example, if we would be now at, I don't know, Cheers bar, this would be the Cheers Fröccs. 2 wine, 2 water. So I have 3 wine in it, and I pour 2 water on it, and this is going to be the házmester, the janitor. Or this is the person in the old times in Hungary who was living in the house, but also he was keeping it clean. He was the janitor. He was the one who knew everyone all around, knew about everyone's secret life, and he was the one who was in communication with the house representative. So janitor is kind of it's a powerful position, but it's really a petty person. The janitor will get 3 wine and 2 water, and the vice janitor, because that's also a thing which is really ridiculous already, that's the Vice-házmester, that person will only get 2 wine and 3 water. So you'll see this is the hierarchy in alcoholization as well. Alcoholization, is that a word? So let's learn about hierarchy of alcoholism. I'm a janitor right now, so I deserve 3 deciliters of wine and 2 of water. This is still too heavy for me, so I would go for the honorable mentions, and after that I will show you my own personal choice that I'm always mocked for, but who the hell cares? That's what I like to drink. Honorable mentions. First of all, stingy, Sóher. That's 1 wine, 9 water. Then there's the Krúdy, because the guy named 9-1 after himself, when you actually, it's not 1 deciliter of water at the beginning, just a sprinkle of water. Then there's also the mayor, which is 6-4, and my favorite one is 6-3, the Magyar-angol. Hungary, England. That's 1953 when we beat England 6-3 in a football match, and it's the first time in 90 years that someone could beat the English. Good old times. So since last year we lost against Andorra 1-0. I'm going to drink this because we deserve to be this is not okay. Okay, so after all, my favorite one that they always laugh at me because of And there's a reason why I drink this. Like you see how I am now, I'm miserable. I mostly drink 1-4, which is sport. This Fröccs is perfection. We call it sport Fröccs because you can drink sport. No, you can do sports while doing it, which means no matter how strict your coach would be, you could say, "Hey boss, but there's only just a little water in, little wine in it." So this is why I drink it. Last month I was in a wedding. And when you're in a wedding, and I was best man as well, so they always try to make you drink. Always, everyone wants to clink their glasses with you. Everyone wants to make you drink. And I would always reject the palinka and any other, you know, hard liquors. I would say, I'm sorry, I'm in duty. But still, you know, a Fröccs is Fröccs, so we just drink it. So this is what I do. I drink sport Fröccs. This 1-4. So you can, this really will stretch your drinking. And seeing other friends getting drunk is either very, very sad or very entertaining. Anyways, it's a great way to, you know, to get to know them. So when everyone is drinking beer after beer and all these, you know, 2, 3s and so on, and they're drinking the 6-3 Hungarian ones, then you're still sitting there being casual and drinking your sport Fröccs. So this is why I choose 1-4. This I think is the best because you still, if it's a good wine, you still taste the wine, but you can hydrate at the same time, which is very important. Hydration is important, kids. Please don't forget it. One more thing. I was sure I'm going to make a video about Fröccs one day, but the motivation came actually from 2 of my former guests, Kyle and Axel, who I took them around Budapest, and we went to one of these ruin bars and I introduced them to this amazing invention, and they said, "You changed our lives now." And we were talking about the vlog, they said, "You need to make a video about it." So this, my friends, this is for you, Kyle and Axel. So, conclusion, because we need a moral at the end of the story. Don't be afraid of mixing your wine with water. Don't care about what the French say. Who cares about what the French say? Fizzy and alcoholic, and there's water in it. You're hydrating, you're drinking alcohol, and bubbles are fun. How can you miss this? So, right now, I'm going to invite a few friends, because no way I'm finishing this all by myself, because that's up for Celine Dion. She's all by herself. All by myself, don't wanna be. I hope that I opened your eyes to something new, something that will change your life, something that will help you survive long compulsory drinking with your friends, reunions, birthdays, baptizing, weddings, and so on. Now you have the ultimate choice, the ultimate tool to be social and sober at the same time. Well, sort of sober. This is Fröccs, a benchmark of our culture, and I was that Levi guy. Cheers. Egészségetekre. Oh, by the way, no encore today. Just subscribe. Thanks.